All right, Taisei from Taisei Discovers with a very special guest today with a certified sommelier, brother Kainoa, who I've known for a couple of years now. We really mesh well together, our personalities and our passions, and I'm very happy and fortunate to have him here. Welcome to Taisei Discovers, Kainoa.
Cool, thanks. Good to be here.
Today is special because I'm on my quest to becoming a certified sommelier. Right, I passed the intro. I've been working with wine for years, and I definitely have a passion for it. But Kainoa has actually made it to the level of certified sommelier and currently works for Ohana Beverage, which is one of the vendors that provides some of our amazing wines. They have a wonderful portfolio. And Kainoa, can you just tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are in your wine journey?
So started studying wine back in the day, 2007 at the Four Seasons. Studied from 2007 to 2013. Passed my level 1 in 2013. After that, I moved to Colorado. Continued studying. Worked at a small French restaurant in Vail, Colorado. Passed my level 2 in 2018. Worked as a beverage director for a few years after that, and then moved back home in 2021, and working towards my level 3 now.
Wow.
Should be good.
So level 3, there's 4 total levels, right?
4 total levels, yeah.
So you got your intro, which is what I am. You got your first level certified, which is what he is right now. And then there's the advanced after that. That's what you're working towards.
Working towards that,
and then there's the coveted master sommelier, like brother Roberto. We'll be seeing you soon. But how many master sommeliers are there in the world?
I think there's like 350, right around there. The pass rate on the master's exam is something crazy, like 3%, which is insane. And so, yeah, every year they coin maybe half dozen to 10 a year, which is crazy considering how many people actually take it. And as far as the jump from certified to advanced, pretty large jump, gets significantly harder. But then the jump from advanced to master, I mean, it's huge. You have to dedicate a large part of your life for a couple of years, several years, even to think about taking the master.
So do you have aspirations to be a master one day?
I would really like to get my advanced.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to go for a master.
Yeah. Well, I guess, first things first, right? You got to make the next step, and then we'll see what happens after that. So, so for somebody like me in my position as intro level wine specialist or whatever they call it, what should I expect in my path to becoming a certified?
So the biggest hurdle for me was the blind tasting. There's kind of 3 different parts that you need to pass. Okay. The first is theory. And for that one, you should foresee lots of flashcards in your future. Okay. And plenty of time, hitting the books, read every book that you have access to. Make your flashcards of, all of the relevant information, flip through those flashcards as often as possible just to get it in your brain. Just that memory and knowledge of wine is going to be the way that you pass your theory. The second is a service, and I think that's going to be probably the easiest one for you. The service is where you're essentially just performing proper champagne service to a table with a master somm there, kind of grilling you a little bit. It's one thing to perform the service, but they're kind of doing whatever they can just to throw you off balance a little bit. And so I kind of got caught off guard a couple times just because they kind of ask off the wall questions.
What kind of morals do you have?
Exactly, stuff like that. They kind of just try to keep you on your toes or just wait for you to slip up. What was it? During mine, I was popping the champagne, and he asked me like kind of a random question about the wine, like, "Oh, what about a Syrah? Like, what would you pair with the Syrah?" And my mind just went blank. And I had the cork almost all the way out, and the cork just boom popped super loud, and I almost dropped the bottle. And I thought for sure, I was like, oh man, like that's kind of like a faux pas a little bit. But I was able to like recover and answer, kind of succinctly. And so even though it kind of like rattled me a little bit, that's actually the time that I was able to pass, the time that I thought that I did the worst, you know.
Wow. So I got a quick question. What did you recommend with the Syrah?
You know, I still remember to this day, he said, oh yeah, he was talking about an earthy Syrah. And I said, I recommend a lamb burger with feta and then spinach. I've never worked at a restaurant that had a lamb burger. It was just like the first thing that came to my head of like what to pair with the Syrah. I just kind of pulled it out of thin air and it worked.
So the lamb, you would say, because of like it's almost gamey, but just what would you say? And then also like the spinach from like the leafy characteristics,
Vegetal notes of the spinach, the kind of like a kind of earthy, kind of savory notes from the lamb, going to complement with the kind of savory notes of the Syrah. So yeah, it kind of just was in that moment. I was like mini panic, but then it felt good to kind of like say something succinctly. Yeah.
And then for the champagne, you know, our goal is to kind of have, so funny, we call it the silent fart, right?
Yeah.
The right?
Yep.
When you open it, right? And for it to pop like that, was that like, did they dock you points or anything?
I don't know if they docked me points.
You passed.
I did pass, yeah. So I'm not sure if they docked me points on that, but it was a pass. But it's definitely not something that you're trying to do. The pop noise is fun, but it's not proper service. Yeah,
it's fun for the reception at the wedding, right?
Exactly. Not proper service though. So I think you're gonna be really good on the service end. But the blind tasting was the thing that tripped me up the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain.
So for me, I felt like my strength when it came to blind tasting is that I could identify the wine, or I could identify the flavor profiles and the structure of the wine really well. Like I could explain the wine perfectly, but linking my senses up with the proper wine was really difficult. So often what I would do is I would say all of these great descriptors, nail all of the points as far as like the acid level, the tannin, complexity, all of that. Then I would just call the wrong wine. And so I think that was a little hole in my theory that my sense evaluation was on point, but I just needed more work in my theory to kind of link those two together.
Okay.
And so I mean, some people it's the other way. They kind of like aren't able to explain the wine very well, but then they just like get it right almost all the time. So it's almost everybody falls into one of those camps, but being able to link the two, that's the hard part.
Wow, we're gonna get to practice that today later on. Okay, so the blind tasting, that's kind of interesting. So the first level, you actually have to do blind tasting for certified?
So the first level you do for certified you do. Yeah, for certified it's a written test. So they're going to pour you 2 whites and 2 reds, and you need to identify essentially the grape, the region, possible age range, and possible kind of climate. That'll help you kind of identify the age range. For the advanced though, it's 6 wines, and it's not written. You have to do it in person.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a little bit more nerve-wracking.
Well, I can see how it gets more difficult, and it makes sense. That's why it's an elite group of masters and even advanced. If somebody says they're advanced, I'm like, oh my God. So yeah. I wish you the best of luck in that journey. But I got one other question about the blind. So if I don't know if it was a movie. Have you seen Uncorked? It's about the African American dude that went on a quest to become a master sommelier. It's a very good movie, I think, and it's also on Netflix, Uncorked. But is it true that if you don't get the wine correct, but the processes that you went through were pretty accurate and indicative of what that wine was, even though you didn't get the correct wine, sometimes can still get you a passing grade?
You can still build up enough points in that way, but I don't think that if you had 6 wines and you explained and built up every single wine perfect, I don't think that you would still have enough points if you didn't call any of those wines correct. You need to get a couple of them correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many. I need to just go and add up all the points. But yeah, most of the points, a majority, it's like 65, 70% of the points are established before the call. If that makes sense.
Okay.
But still calling that wine is pretty important.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any advice for somebody like me that wants to become a certified sommelier, any pointers for me?
Yeah. I would say taste as often as you can.
Which we do.
Which you do, yeah, absolutely. But not everybody that has the opportunity to taste as much as they possibly can. Not everybody kind of utilizes that. If you're in the industry, if you work in a liquor shop, if you work in a restaurant, anything that's kind of in that wine realm, there'll be people kind of cruising around like me, sales reps, supplier reps, all of these people that are trying to show their products to you. I'd say take advantage of that whenever possible, because just being able to taste this entire lineup of wine for free.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the industry, that is invaluable.
Yeah.
And you can do it just about every day, if you're in one of these positions. So so take advantage of that for sure.
Well, I definitely have been. And I've actually, what was it, in the past year or so, I really learned the importance of spitting. Because there's some that you just can't spit. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's so quality and you just really want to have the full experience. But it's extremely important to spit, because this is a dangerous, game. And it's easy to go down the wrong road, sometimes. So I just want to stress to our viewers too that it's not a game. It's something very serious, and alcohol consumption can be very dangerous. So be responsible with it. But if you are responsible with it, it can be very wonderful experiences for a social situation, right?
And if you spit, you can taste way more.
Yeah.
If you're drinking every 2-ounce pour that they pour you, after 5-6 tastes, you're done already. But if you're properly spitting, you can go through, taste an entire room full of wine if they have it set up already.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a myth that you can't taste the wine if you spit. All of the master somm candidates, I've talked to them about it, and you actually are able to taste the wine more because the alcohol doesn't obscure the flavors quite as much. If you were to take a wine and swallow that wine, you get that ethanol coming up, and it kind of obscures the flavor, especially the finish. But if you were to give the wine a swirl and spit, you don't have that ethanol burn kind of obscuring the mid palate, the finish of the wine. So.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. I do have a couple more questions for you. If you had the opportunity to visit one appellation or maybe even a sub-AVA, what appellation would that be and why?
So I've always wanted to go to Sicily. Yeah. I've been to France and I've been to Italy. I've been to the northwest corner of Spain. I haven't explored Spain as much as I'd like to. But of those big 3 wine countries in Europe, I think Italy kind of has a soft spot in my heart. Okay. And of all of the zones in Italy, I love Sicily the most. The terrain is varied and super interesting. It's the site of the largest active volcano in Europe, Mount Etna.
Yes.
Which is crazy, because you'll be in the vineyard and then you just look up and there's like smoke billowing out of the volcano. And it's just right up the hill. It's a fascinating place.
They grow a lot of like Bianco, like the Etna Biancos and the Tornators, right? Yeah.
So the main grape there is not the main grape, but the most quality-minded grape is Nerello Mascalese when it comes to reds. And they also do some fantastic Carcante, which is a white wine. Those are kind of my 2 favorites. But another popular variety is Nero d'Avola. There's some phenomenal Nero d'Avola in Sicily. And these are wines that are delicious, but kind of underpriced. But yeah,
and not very popular in the American market.
Not popular yet. Not popular yet. I mean, gaining a little bit of steam, but still kind of a sleeper area.
One thing I've realized too is that you can only have so much Cabernet Sauvignons.
Yeah.
and once you do, especially if you have the American style, the fruit forward, big, oaky, then at a certain point, your palate changes, and then you start to appreciate other nuances, other flavors. And for me right now, I'm in an earthy season. Like I like earth, I like mushroom, I like forest floor, you know. So if I had to answer that question I just asked you, my appellation I would like to go to would be the Willamette.
Ooh, yeah, of course.
Dundee, you know what I mean, or something like that. I've had a lot of great wines from there, and it's kind of reminiscent of some Burgundian style.
Yeah.
Right. But luckily I am going to Willamette in June for Pinot Camp.
Oh, awesome.
So it's just that things are aligning, and that's my favorite, appellation. So I'm super stoked on that. I also wanted to ask you if you had a choice, if it's the last day on earth and you had a choice to have a white wine and a red wine, which wines would those be?
Oh my gosh. And somebody else is paying.
Somebody else is paying. No budget.
I mean, if somebody else is paying, you have to go straight to DRC. Both white and red.
Romani Conti, yeah.
Yeah, Domaine Romani Conti. I've had the opportunity to taste them a couple times, and they've been kind of like life-changing experiences to taste these wines.
In what way?
The complexity just kind of off the charts, and flavors and aromas that I didn't think that a single wine could express. I have, and that's all. I'm only talking the reds. I've never actually tasted the whites. So yeah, if I had to go, one wine, it would be DRC's Romani Conti vineyard.
Okay, so for our viewers, where is that? Where's that from?
So that is in Burgundy, in the Côte de Nuit. So Burgundy is a region in France, in kind of northeastern France. And it's broken up into two zones. There's the Côte de Nuit, which is a little bit farther north, mostly red wines. And then there's the Côte de Beaune, which is a bit further south, mostly white wines. And within the Côte de Nuit, there is a famous village called the Vosne Romanée. And there is a single vineyard within it that is probably the most famous vineyard in maybe in the world, but definitely in Burgundy. And DRC makes a wine from there that a single bottle is going to run you multiple thousands of dollars. So if somebody else is paying, I'm all over it.
Well, if you think about multiple thousands of dollars, they've been making wine for thousands of years, dollar per year. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's a polished generational thing, and I think they've also set the bar for what Pinot Noir and Chardonnay can be at its greatest, right?
Absolutely,
after fine-tuned for thousands of years.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a chance to taste the DRC. It was Echazot.
Oh, of course.
And I forgot. I don't even remember what year it was, because I don't think at the time that I tasted it, I really understood what it was. All I knew is that this is a $1,500 bottle, and the guest was like, "Do you want to try this?" Gave me a nice pour. I was like, "Shoot, yeah, it's great." And now I try to remember what I experienced, and I don't. I just remember that it was good.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that's the thing about wines that are up in the stratosphere like that. It's hard to really like say, oh, this is a flavor that I tasted, or oh, this is an exact taste or aroma, just because it's a lot of those things are like kind of categorizable, you know. But yeah, interesting.
And if you don't have the descriptors in your mental Rolodex, then it's kind of difficult, right?
Totally.
So yeah, wine. The appreciation of wine does take a lot of studying and intention. And yeah, I'm just stoked to be sitting here with you, man. A man I respect.
Oh, thank you.
One day I hope to be a fraction of who you are when it comes to wine. Seriously, bro. Seriously, every time we've tasted probably 100 wines, 150 wines,
probably more.
Yeah,
probably more
together. And through that journey, every single time you've always impressed me and taught me something new. So that's why I express my appreciation for you, and that's why you're here right now, and that's why we're going to do a blind together. So I've chosen a wine. Kai has chosen a wine.
I got two.
Oh, you have two wines. Oh shoot. Okay, so we're gonna do a little rundown right now, and yeah. What is a blind? Oh, okay. You know what? Let's let Kai explain what a blind tasting is.
Cool. So blind tasting is it's just tasting a wine that you don't know what it is yet. So I think that Some people they regard blind tasting as kind of like a parlor trick, but and a lot of people turn it into a competition, which it absolutely can be. But for people in the industry, I think that blind tasting is important because it's a way to identify wine and figure out the quality level of that wine without any preconceived notions of what it should be. Sometimes you see the label and I know that this variety, I like this variety. I know this producer or I know this region, so I know the price. So I think it's going to be this good.
Yeah.
But removing all of that and tasting the wine blind allows you to kind of just experience the wine fully without any kind of like already set ideas of what the wine's supposed to taste like.
Awesome. And the method that I've learned was the deductive method.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, I've seen other people use methods that are a little bit different, but really what we're determining is what the wine isn't, right?
Yeah.
At first. And that's really fun too. And it causes you to think and draw from your experience. Okay, so we are actually doing the blind now. This is obviously a white wine, but this is the wine that I got. So Kainoa is gonna go through it and we can watch his process.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This wine is a white wine. It is clear, with a medium concentration. I would say that the color is. This wine is has a yellow core, moving out to a light straw rim. There is no staining. The viscosity is medium. There's no evidence of gas or sediment. On the nose, the wine's clean. It's of medium plus aromatic intensity. It is a youthful wine. Fruit profile is both ripe and tart. Some tree fruit aromas here. There is pear, ripe pear, Asian pear, citrus as well. There's a creamy lemon zest. Also some tropical fruit. I get star fruit, underripe pineapple. There's also a floral aspect to the wine. There is a jasmine and plumeria flowers. There's a creaminess to the wine. Bit of a creme fraiche. It's kind of a toasty spice. Cinnamon, clove. On the palate, On the palate, the wine is it's medium plus body, almost full bodied. The wine's dry, confirming the tree fruit on the palate. So that ripe pear. There's that Asian pear skin, creamy kind of lemon candy, lemon zest. There's a slight chalkiness to the wine as far as mineral elements go. Confirming that creaminess, there's that kind of yogurty, kind of creme fraiche creaminess. The acid is medium plus. The alcohol is medium plus. The texture is slightly creamy, but tart towards the finish. The wine is in balance. I would say it's of medium. I would say it's of medium complexity. Possible grape varieties. This could be a Chardonnay. This could be a Sauvignon Blanc. I'm going to keep this wine in the New World. Possible countries. This could be from the United States. This could be from Australia. I think this is from a moderate climate. It's between 1 and 3 years of age. I think that this is a 2021 Chardonnay from the United States, from California, from Sonoma.
Final answer?
Give that my final answer.
All right, so time to unveil the wine. Let's see what it is.
Oh, Mekong.
Mekong. Okay, so this is Henri Perousset, the Mekong Farge. This is a Chardonnay, so he was correct on that. This is a 2019. What did you say? It was 2000.
I called it 2020 domestic Chardonnay,
Yes,
not a French Chardonnay.
Okay, so I mean, what you did pinpoint was the fact that it was a Chardonnay. It had characteristics from the Chardonnay. Can you explain why you felt it was New World?
It had kind of a weight to it, and it also kind of had pronounced, kind of a pronounced oak profile. I leaned New World because it tasted like it had a good amount of oak, and it also had like a very ripe fruit. I think one of the descriptors I used was like a pineapple. So those tropical fruit notes I often get in New World Chardonnay. Kind of riper expressions of Mekong can show that too.
Yeah.
I think the wine's delicious.
It's really a delicious wine. That to me, that was fascinating, bro. Like the way you broke it down. You were able to you had descriptors that like when I was like the aromas when I was smelling it and you were explaining it, I was like, oh yeah, he's right. And then I even told you like the creme fraiche on the palate, how it had that slight bit of creaminess, and whatnot. I knew what the wine was, and as you were breaking it down, I was just, it was fascinating. So it's not about okay, I nailed the wine every single time. It's about what is your processes and what is your thinking and. It was a masterful breakdown. So
thank you.
Exciting. All right, I guess it's my turn.
It is.
Fucking Kai, right? You super descriptive, bro.
Oh, on the just the random descriptors.
Yeah. He said little creme fraiche. I was like, ooh, yeah. But that's one thing that I've learned too is that there's a difference between an unripe pear, a ripe pear, a pear that has fallen on the ground and starting to
rot a little bit. I mean, that's important too. But what I found is helpful too is like identifying even like in the same fruit, you can identify like different parts of the fruit. Like one that I'll use sometimes is like pineapple core.
Pineapple core.
Because it's like you get that really juicy, like nice piece of pineapple, kind of tastes one way. But if you get that kind of like pithy, like corey part, kind of tastes, I mean, it still tastes like pineapple, but kind of has a different kind of effect, I
like the rind, the pineapple right on the rind.
Yeah.
Or something, and it has a little bitterness.
Yeah.
I guess it's Taisei's turn to discover. All right, let's take a look at this. So clarity here. Definitely pretty. For me, it's clear plus. Concentration. I'm thinking medium. Medium minus. Color. I'm looking at kind of almost like a purplish color. Rim variation. There is a little rim variation, which makes me feel like this is a younger wine for tiering. So it looks like it's a lower alcohol content. No evidence of gas on the nose. Oh, on the nose, I'm getting a lot of earth. Also, I'm getting a little bit of vegetal. Definitely a little bit of vegetal. The intensity of it it's actually, for me, as soon as I put my nose in it, it kind of jumped out at me. It feels pretty powerful. to me, it's kind of youthful, but it seems kind of evolved in a way, making me think that like the age assessment is like it's kind of developing. Fruit, I'm getting black and dark red fruit. Definitely, it seems pretty fresh, but it actually almost seems kind of baked. There's a little bit of stewed in there as well. I am getting forest floor. Just looking at the viscosity of it, I'm kind of like formulating what I think it is, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Definitely some type of mushroom as well. And I'm definitely getting forest floor. So like imagine like walking through a damp forest and stepping on leaves that have been there for a while, kind of unearthing that ground a little bit. I am getting that. There's also some minerality in there as well. And honestly, this is jumping out to me as it being old world. There definitely seems to be some oak influence as well. It's not super, super apparent, but it's definitely kind of a delicate oat for me. The earth is the thing that's jumping out the most. So, do a little taster. Wow. So, very earthy. Subtle vegetal. Almost like a little bit of baking spice in the background. Good acidity, medium plus. Fruit character. I'm getting some dried fruit. Dried plum, dried blackberries, if you can imagine. Almost like a fruit roll up, like a tart fruit roll up with earth. Definitely, there's a little bit of herb too, but it's not like real fresh herb. It's almost like dried herb, and it's kind of a background. Minerals. The body of it makes me kind of gravitate toward some of the lighter varietals, like Pinot Noir, maybe even Grenache. Old World is what it seems like still. Tannin, definitely some tannin, but not robust tannins. Alcohol, it's like medium. It's a fairly balanced wine, but I would say it's definitely screaming earth more than it's screaming fruit, and the fruit is dried fruit. Possible grape varietals, like I said, Pinot Noir, Grenache, kind of stand out to me. And Old World. Let's say, seems as the climate is kind of a moderate climate. It's not jumping out to be too warm, too ripe. It's also not too young. I'm gonna have to say this is 1 to 3 years old. But I'm gonna change my mind. I'm actually gonna go to Willamette. And I'm gonna say this is a Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley. That's kind of bold, but Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley. And I would say that this is a 2021. That's going to be my final answer with the acidity and everything. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's my final answer. I just want to go Burgundy or Grenache. But, I'll just stick by that and we'll learn from this experience. Yeah. Pinot Noir, 2021, Willamette Valley.
I put it by right there.
Dang.
What?
Nicely done.
Fuck out of here! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh, Kai, what the hell, dog?
Nicely done, sir.
Oh, shit.
2021, too.
It makes me want to cry.
Wow.
Like the tears on my wine glass.
Tears of joy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, very nice. I thought you had good descriptors. I mean, good fruit descriptors. The only thing that I would say was really missing is that it's always going to have cherry.
Oh,
You kind of danced around it as far as the fruits go.
Okay.
But you didn't mention cherry, which is like that's the one thing that I was like, Pinot Noir is always going to have some type of cherry.
Okay.
But I thought your description was awesome.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
2 for 2. I don't know what it was. Damn. Well, thank you for picking this type of varietal, bro. I was going Burgundy too, bro.
I think that there's some delicious fruit here, and it's a pretty wine, but I don't think it quite has like. I think that it's pretty primary in its fruit. I don't think it quite has enough earth to quite be Burgundy. So I think that you're right in saying that, yeah, it has some forest floor, has some dustiness, but I don't think the intensity of those non-fruits were kind of turned up quite enough for me to call Burgundy either. So I think that's what, Willamette was a great call.
Willamette, here I come.
And you'll be there pretty soon, so you'll be drinking plenty of this.
Yeah.
Pinot Camp's awesome.
Yeah.
I did Pinot Camp in 2018.
You did it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
2000. Yeah, 17 or 18. And it was amazing. Yeah, really, really good. I mean, it's 3 days of like super geeky symposiums and like meeting every winemaker, and every night they have this huge like trade event. So it's like drink till you drown with like all the awesome somms and stuff like that.
I'm spitting.
It's
I'm just playing.
probably a good idea to spit a little bit, but I mean, it's very impressive. Last year, the highlight for me was we did an event at Soter. You know that winery, Soter, Soter. They do some really nice like sparkling, which is not that common in Willamette. And they did Chardonnay and oysters. And so we went into the vineyard and they had people shucking oysters, and we were drinking Oregonian Chardonnay and eating oysters in the vineyard. It's like, wow, dude, I've arrived. This is like one of the best moments of my life. Yeah. So you're gonna enjoy it. There's different ones there's different, like everybody goes to like the kind of larger discussions, and then you can kind of sign up for individual classes. And then there's like, off of that, there's even more like really specialized tastings that you can go to. So, I mean, you're going to love it. I would say try if you can. There's one that not many people can get into. But I can't remember what winery it is, but one of the winemakers is a pilot, and you can sign up for this experience where you go into a plane. He takes you up in a Cessna, and you drink wine while flying through the Willamette Valley.
Is he drinking wine too?
I would hope not if he's flying the Cessna. But yeah, that's one that I slept on a little bit, and I didn't think that I was like, oh, I'll be able to sign up later. But that's the one that goes out first. So as soon as you're able to sign up for your events,
yes,
sign up for the airplane one, because it's only it's six person plane. He goes up like 4 or 5 times. So you gotta jump on it immediately because there's only like 30 spots.
Well, I appreciate the insight, man, and bro, cheers, my friend.
Cheers
to a wonderful blind, and I don't even
love it. I love it.
Love it, bro. Kainoa, can you tell us your Instagram and then also Ohana Beverages?
Sure. My Instagram's Powder and Barrels. That's my personal Instagram. And then you can reach our company at OBC Hawaii. It's Ohana Beverage Hawaii. So yeah, we're a wholesale distributor of wine and spirits. We distribute to great shops like Tamura's, Fujioka's, Vintage Wine Cellar. So we have stuff available all over the island.
Please give them a follow, give them some likes, and look forward to more content with Kainoa.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
I got one more for you.
Oh, shit.